Good morning, collective. It's about 1:41 in the morning. Just woke up from a nap. Just listening to a friend, and I find this interesting that wherever I go, I run into myself, and that's an odd concept. That the height of spirituality is that everything and everyone you run into, everywhere you go, you see a mirror. And so everyone is your teacher, and everything is your teacher, and that's as great as you could ever be. So at the same time as the silliest things, like somebody, like at the height of your spirituality, somebody watching from a distance, you walk down the street and just seeing what caught your eye makes them think, and they get some kind of grand thing out of that. Seeing you bend over and they're like, what the hell did he pick up off the ground? Was that a penny? Was that a bug? Was it a piece of trash? And so there it is. And over the last month or so, there's been a couple books that I've been using, doing Sticktomancy, which is just it's just like tarot reading. It's about reading your own energy, and or the opposition of your own energy, however it may be. And so you open a book, especially if you've been distant for a minute, in meditation, or maybe at the height of a drug experience and you're just kind of spaced out, and you just reach over the book that's sitting there and you open it up and bam, you get hit right in the face, like in a good way. And that's always been some kind of gift that I've had, but it shines in my own face, and humbles me at the same time as teaches me something very wise. And I just like to share I just opened a book that I've been coming across, that I got a couple years ago but didn't start reading until suddenly, and the ironies involved in it is just off the charts for me. It's The Essential Kabbalah, by Daniel C. Matt. And so this is the book, what it looks like. And so I guess thinking about Israel tonight. Is it real? What's real? I don't know. But tonight, the first thing I opened up to is a page I hadn't opened up to before, and it's called The Purpose. And it just comes on 2 blank pages. It looks like the book of the Tao to me. It's just some simple poems that are paradoxes and contradictions that also has been one of the greatest books of my life. But so then I have that passage and another poem and another part I wanted to read to you for you to think about, since if we met up here, then, we're just chatting about whatever, right? So the purpose. The purpose of marriage, the purpose of the marriage of a woman and a man is union. The purpose of union is fertilization. The purpose of fertilization is to give birth. The purpose of birth is learning. The purpose of learning is to grasp the divine. The purpose of apprehending the divine is to maintain the endurance of the one who apprehends with the joy of apprehension. Scary, huh? Then here we got the secret of the Sabbat. The secret of the Sabbat. She is Sabbat, united in the secret of one, to draw upon her the secret of one. When Sabbat enters, she is alone, separated from the other side, all judgments removed from her. Basking in the oneness of holy light, she is crowned over and over to face the Holy King. All the powers of wrath and masters of judgment flee from her. There's no power in all the worlds aside from her. Her face shines with the light from beyond. She's crowned below by holy people, all of whom are crowned with new souls. Then the beginning of prayer, blessing her with joy, with beaming faces. Then the third one, this is one that I'd opened straight to when I was in a difficult spot just a month or so ago, contemplating my own existence as well. And this is called Human and Divine Limbs. And it's just half of it for now. The true essence of God cannot be grasped by anyone but God. There's not a single angel in heaven who knows God's location, and certainly not God's true essence. Don't you realize what the angels say? Blessed be the presence of Yahweh, Vavhe, from his place? In other words, wherever God's place may be. If the celestial creatures do not know, then how could earthly creatures ever know? So all of the descriptions that we read in the Torah of God's hand, foot, ear, and eye, what do they mean? Know and believe that although these descriptions indicate God's true being, no creature can know or contemplate the essence of what is called hand, foot, ear, or the like. Because God's in all things. If we're listening and hearing and speaking of this here or there or whatever, then God is there, and God is here, and God is everywhere. That's what I assumed that would come to mean, and lines up with a basic principle that when I was young, I'm still pretty young, that I believed that, well, I'm seeking God, and if there is such thing as God, then logic or intuition automatically told me that God is a thread that goes through all things, and so nothing can be removed and discarded aside. Not a single person, not a single concept, not a single thing of being. To say, oh, well, we got to eradicate all the mosquitoes of the world, or anything like that. As annoying as mosquitoes fucking are, for sure. Though we are made in the divine image and likeness, do not imagine that the divine eye is actually in the form of an eye, or a divine hand in the form of a hand. Rather, these are innermost aspects of the divine reality, from which the fountain flows to all creatures through the divine decree. But the essence of the divine hand is not the essence of the human hand, nor is their form the same, as it is written, to whom can I be compared? And I think that each person should take that into their hearts, because every single person is divine, and we've all been marked by God. Every person has a spiritual wound, and some magical practitioners and diviners all find that they have a divine wound that marks them, and both draws people to them and also makes people afraid of them. And that is a very strange concept if you're supposed to lead people, but everyone's afraid to come to you. And you can't lead anybody because everyone's teaching you. So then how the fuck do you manage that, right? And if it's given by God, then how dare you ask anybody for money or whatever for the services? But then how do you go out and profess that, oh, well, I know the truth, and so you should listen to me? Like, these are some very difficult concepts to deal with, by anybody who's been touched by the hand of divinity. And something just tells me, since we're here right now, and it just crossed 10 minutes, that I should just stick to Mancy one more to pull the energy from where we might be right now. That's funny. It's just the middle of a passage. I'll just read the first two paragraphs because that's what I've glanced here. He said, this one about the ravishing maiden. The old man opened and said, Yahweh Vavhe is on my side, I have no fear. What can any human do to me? Yahweh Vavhe is by my side helping me. It is good to take refuge in Yahweh Vavhe. How good, pleasant, precious, and high are words of Torah. But how can I say them in front of rabbis, for whose mouths until now I haven't heard a single word? But then I should say, because there's no shame at all in saying words of Torah in front of everyone. Let's finish the page, why not? The old man covered himself. The old man opened and said, Moses went inside the cloud and ascended the mountain. What is this cloud? The same one of which it is written, I have placed my bow in the cloud. We have learned that the rainbow took off her garments and gave them to Moses. Wearing the garments, he went up in the mountain. From inside it, he saw what he saw, delighting in all up to that place. The companions approached and threw themselves down in front of the old man. They cried and said, If we have come into the world only to hear these words from your mouth, it is enough for us. 12:12. So that's what I wanted to share tonight. So I hope all are well. Getting ready to go for a walk. It's like what is it? Hey, it's almost 2 a.m. But normally this is the middle of my afternoon, so this graveyard shift is kind of shitty. But see you later.